Roland released a new mouthpiece for the Aerophone. How can that work? Let's have a look. So just coming available now, there's this new hard mouthpiece, the 10MPH. From Roland, and presumably available at your local music shop. If not by now, it will be very soon. Let's have a very close look, if we can, at the comparison between the original mouthpiece and the new mouthpiece. Here we have the two mouthpieces, the original Roland Aerophone mouthpiece, and now the new AE10MPH mouthpiece. Now these are both available separately. I'm not totally sure, but I think it might be the case that some of the new Roland Aerophones are coming with this harder reed mouthpiece. I wanted to try and give you some idea of the difference between these two. Now this is very difficult to do unless you actually play them for yourself, so you have really got to go and try them out. But I think I can give you some insight here. So the original reed, that mouthpiece that came with this softer reed, here you can see that reed is very thin, and it gives you an idea here, me just doing this, what that actually would look and feel like. Now with this new one here, this is a much different sound. I can't really flex it so far, and it's a much harder reed. Not only that, but I think the finish is nicer on this new mouthpiece. This one had a sort of block here with a rather thin plastic reed. This is the entire unit is one reed here with a nicer shape to the contour here, coming down from the sort of base of the reed up to the tip, and the other one was just this block then with this very thin plastic reed. Now, as far as I can see, the actual mouthpieces are identical. There's nothing that's changed on the mouthpiece. This one just has a mouthpiece patch on because I like to play with a mouthpiece patch to stop my teeth flying around. But everything else in the actual mouthpiece is identical as far as I can see. But this definitely has a much harder reed, and it's a smoother contour. The edges feel nicer finished, and this one was a little square at the edge of the reed, and as you can tell, a much thinner sort of reed to it. So let's have a look at how that actually translates when we're playing on the Aerophone. So what difference is this going to make when we're actually playing? Well, it's hard to describe it. Some of this is a feel thing, of course. I think you'll be able to see a little bit of change as I do this brief demonstration now. So this is the original soft reed mouthpiece. I've done my setup in the menu. I've done the bite adjust like we looked at in the last video. And we're just going to play a few notes now and see what this looks like. I'm going to try and film this slightly from the side because I think what's important is the amount of movement that we have to make with the embouchure to make a difference. So here we go. So certainly from the feel of that, I'm having to make a rather exaggerated movement. I don't know if you can see that from the way that I'm playing from that side on. I am getting some pitch bend and I am managing to do a little bit of vibrato, but it's quite hard work to get that vibrato for me with that setting. And I have taken time to set up the bite adjust. Okay, so let's take this one off. Now be careful when you remove these, just a little bit of wiggling either side up and down like so, just to slowly release it, and be careful of the special little sensor inside. We don't really want to bend or damage that. So that was the original mouthpiece. Now here's the new harder reed mouthpiece, okay? And we're just going to slide that on carefully. There is a little notch at the front. We want to make sure that that's lined up really carefully, and make sure that it's properly seated all the way down. Now I think that's in place. I'm going to do my setup just like we've looked at in the other video. So that means making sure that the arrows aren't either side of the byte adjust. I'm going to click menu. Now it's either side of the number. I'm just going to play a note, and then I'm going to press the 2 octave up button as I'm playing a note with my usual embouchure. Right, that's set. I'm going to press the menu to make sure that I'm out of the setup procedure. Now, let me just try this. So I really feel that's much better. Again, I'm not sure how that's looking from the side. It's probably quite a little bit of difference there, but certainly from the playing feel, this feels much better to me. I've got a lot more response. It feels much more natural. Possibly if you're coming from a flute or maybe a recorder, maybe that softer reed might suit your playing better. Certainly for me, I much prefer this harder reed. Feels more like a saxophone. I don't feel like I'm having to move so much, and in that demonstration I haven't even bothered to make any further adjustments. I've literally just put that on and played. The difference for me feels very obvious. I think well worth the money. I'm not sure, but maybe some of the new instruments, the later manufactured instruments, maybe they're going to come out with this harder reed on it, but if they're not, it's definitely worth the investment of, what is it, sort of 25-30 pounds sterling in the UK. I definitely put my name down for one if you haven't got one. I've been using this for a few months now, and I certainly won't go back to that softer reed mouthpiece for any money. I hope you found that useful again. Remember, thumbs up is very helpful to me. Subscribe if you haven't done already. Thank you very much for your comments. It's nice to know some of these videos are making some difference to you, and thank you for joining in the conversation with the comments down below, because your comments are really helping the rest of the community as well. So thank you for watching again. See you in the next video.